Welcome back. This is video 3 of our trip through Spain. Apart from the first video, I have not mentioned where we're going or where we've been. So just as a quick recap and catch up, we started our trip in Norwich, went to Portsmouth, caught the ferry, landed in Santander, and in the last video we went from Santander to this place that we've just left called, and I'm going to butcher this, I do apologise, Solsona. And this video is us leaving Solsona and going to Estartit and Torroella de Montgrí, which is my other half's hometown where he grew up. So in the previous day to this, I want to say yesterday, but obviously this is October 2024, we rode for just over 8 hours to get across Spain, and you can see we did a decent chunk, did not do a lot of walking. This is this day, and you can see we only did 155 miles. It was the last stretch to get where we needed to go. A handful of those miles were probably back and forth between neighbouring towns of Stefan's hometown, just catching up with friends and whatnot. So I want to talk about why we took the ferry. The two options we had was take the 72-hour ferry from Portsmouth to Santander. The second option was to get the Eurotunnel and go through France and do it that way. They both tallied up at a very similar price all round. The advantage to the way we did it was there was a lot less roads on the mile? No, miles on the road. So I wasn't going to be as fatigued and tired, and it made my first bike trip more enjoyable. The difference between the two, so you have the 72 hours on the ferry and then you go through Spain, and we stopped for one night. If we'd have gone through France, there would have been a lot more money spent on petrol. It would have taken us probably the same amount of days because of my capabilities, and it meant that we would have had a few hotels. So it would have tallied up similar sort of price and similar sort of time consumed. With the ferry, we had a cabin, we could sit around for a couple of days, view of the sea, watch some movies, and experience the ferry, which is something that I haven't ever done, is experience an overnight ferry. So they both tally up the same. You just have to take into account that one is potentially going to be more fatiguing on you because you are going to be riding for longer. Now, funnily enough, talking about petrol, when we ride together, whether it is such an adventure as this, or even when we're just bimbling around at home, this is how we tend to fill up. Stefan takes closest to the pumps. I rock up next to him, and I normally go pay, which I do in a bit, but he fills up my bike first because it's the furthest away, does his, pump back up. I'm already tend to be at the kiosk or till, whatever variation it is, ready to pay, just waiting for him to put that nozzle down, and it works quite seamlessly and effortlessly for us. This is me trying to get off the bike because I'd pulled up in a ridiculous angle and it was just a bit too tight. But you can see Stefan's finished, I've paid, I'm coming back. It takes not that long when it's the two of you. When you're on your own, you also have to worry about your keys being in your bike. when Stefan's there, I can leave my keys in the bike ready to get rolling again. So it would have been roughly around now, with all of this sunshine after that pit stop that we had, that I really started to notice the temperature difference the closer we were getting to the Mediterranean Sea, and the sunshine in October. It was getting warm and it was beautiful. Now, the other thing that I had noticed at this point as well is the roads. The radiuses of these corners, and there is going to be one that comes up a little bit later, are just so smooth compared to English ones, especially in the countryside over here. This is essentially rural area, and the roads are as perfect as in a more built up area, which is something that I think we lack in this country. Our roads tend to be terrible, and they tend to be even worse in rural areas where they probably need to be a lot better. Just like roundabouts, all sorts. It is chef's kiss. An advantage to having somebody that you ride with that you trust 100% and have comms with is something that you probably really shouldn't do, but there is this vehicle in front of us and Stefan overtakes. He tells me it is clear for me to follow him so that I can overtake, because he had a clear view, and it just meant that I wasn't having to think about anything. We could keep going. We had to pull over. I had to ask if we could pull over just for a couple of seconds, because I realised I hadn't tightened my camera up and it was a little bit loose. So this is just us pulling over for me to tighten it, and me looking like a complete and utter idiot. Anyway, one thing I love is pulling into places and there being other bikers, and then you see their heads turn. I am one of them when I'm stood there and I see a bike, but it is nice to see other bikes doing that as well. Are any of these videos actually complete without a bunch of tunnel footage? So this precise moment is where I started to recognise things. That train line, I knew roughly where we were. I knew we were getting closer to what I call home. And going through this town, I started to feel a little bit tearful because I knew we were almost there. The last little stretch was a bit of a hard job for me, because we should have really have had a break, but we were so close and we powered through. I am very aware that the next bit, a lot of people will be like, right, okay. But I find it entertaining, and I always find it entertaining, and I want to share that in case anybody else does as well. We're in Spain, but we go past an Oxford stationery factory. I love it, and I love the colours on it as well. So if anybody else finds it entertaining, please do let me know, because I surely can't be the only person. So I mentioned before that we powered through and we didn't take a break. It was from this point onwards that I really started to lag, and I was finding it difficult. I knew we were almost there and was pushing so hard. that turning, I knew we were onto almost a home straight, essentially. I knew we were close. And going through all of these little bits, I knew. I just didn't want to give in and have a break when I probably really, really should have. And it was a lesson that regardless, stop, pull over, have a break, just take a second and then get back to it. It makes the world of difference. And I go round and roundabout again, guys. Third video, third roundabout that I go round. I do not know what my problem is with roundabouts. I think it is just has to be done. But anyway, at this point I knew we were really, really, really close. The mountains in the background. It signifies home to me. So this is Torreya de Montgrí, but this isn't where we were stopping. Stefan had said to me on the way, do you want to go straight to the beach to get a photo? My honest opinion was, no, I want to go home. I was exhausted, but I didn't. And I went, you're probably right. Yes, let's do that. I also tried not to make him aware of how much I didn't want to do this, because it was just me being tired and grumpy. And I'm glad that I sucked my own pride in and did it. And I love being here. This is home to me. And my first time riding on this beach. I've been on this beach so many times. It's not even a beach, it's a car park. But yeah, I was tired. I was very exhausted. I really wanted to cry that I'd made it. I just had to cool down. Look at this bug! Had a drink, took some layers off because we were finally in somewhere warm. Had a hug. I needed a hug. But yeah, this makes me happy even now that I got to do this and I got there. So yeah, this is SRT. It's by the Mediterranean Sea. It is bliss, it is beautiful, and it is home. SRT and Torreya are both home. And this is us finally getting to head back towards the house and essentially complete the journey. Getting to park the bikes up and unload everything, get out of bike gear, have a shower, lay down for a minute, unpack all of our stuff. That was very well earned and was a brilliant reward. I love seeing these roads. They make me feel so happy and I cannot wait to get back. Car or bike, I don't care. I love being here. This concludes the third video, so thank you for watching. Goodbye. It's just so cute. Everything about it.